Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take just one song, El Fierros, by an artist named El Makabelico, and by breaking it down piece by piece, we're going to open up this whole massive and pretty controversial world of the modern narco-corrido. Okay, so let's just jump right in with a single line from the song. The freight comes full, yes, very strong. Now, at first glance, you might think, okay, sounds like a song about trucking or something. But trust me, that one line, it sets the stage for everything we're about to uncover.
So that immediately begs the question, right? What exactly is this freight he's singing about? And the answer to that, well, that's what takes us out of the world of just music and straight into the heart of modern narco-culture.
All right, so let's start with the music itself. What are we even listening to here? What is a narco-corrido, and what kind of world is this song trying to paint for us? Yeah, this is not your average pop song. El Fierros belongs to a really specific genre called the narco-corrido. You can think of them as modern-day ballads, but, instead of singing about old folk heroes or revolutions, these songs tell stories, and they get into crazy detail about the lives, the business operations, and the turf wars inside the world of drug trafficking. Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to basically become detectives. We've got to decode the language in the song, because that's where the real story is hidden. And the first thing that jumps out at you when you start picking these lyrics apart is, it's all business. It's like listening to a quarterly report set to music. It's not about feelings or abstract ideas, it's all about logistics, territory, the nuts and bolts of an operation.
I mean, look at this. The song literally lays out a map for you. Flete, that's the shipment, the cargo. 18 ruedas, that's an 18-wheeler truck. And then he names a specific route. Laredo, San Antonio, Houston. That's a well-known trafficking corridor. He even talks about having oficinas, offices in Texas. This isn't just a story song. This is practically a blueprint for a supply chain.
And, of course, every operation needs a boss, right? At the center of all this is the main character, the guy the song is named after. And the lyrics go to great lengths to build up this persona for El Fierros.
Even his nickname is a huge part of his identity. El Fierros translates to the irons or the steel. And the story goes, this is because he has a steel arm, some kind of prosthetic, maybe, that makes him easy to spot. So his alias is literally tied to his most distinct physical feature. It's his brand.
And this is where you see just how deep the culture runs in this genre. The song gives a shout-out to Malverde, who's this unofficial folk saint, often called the narco-saint. So by thanking him, the lyrics are tying this whole criminal enterprise to a kind of spiritual belief system. They're asking for protection for the hustle. It's fascinating.
But here's where it gets really crazy. The story isn't just in the lyrics. When you start to look into the artist himself, El Makabelico, that line between art and reality, it just gets completely blurred.
So look at this quote. He is a criminal. And let me be clear, that is not a lyric from one of his songs. That's from an official government denouncement of the artist. The accusations are, well, they're about as direct as you can get.
And it escalates fast. The same document calls him a terrorist. That's not a word you throw around lightly. It has serious legal weight behind it. And here it is, the core of the whole thing. The accusation is a direct, alleged link between this musician, El Makabelico, and a specific group, the Cartel Del Noreste. Suddenly, this isn't just about music anymore. It's about real-world crime, real-world conflict.
So that begs a pretty big question, right? How does a style of music with these kinds of, well, dangerous and explicit connections get so popular that it's actually starting to cross over into the mainstream?
Well, you can really see how the genre has evolved. If you look at the traditional corridos, they were all about folk heroes, revolution. They had this very rural acoustic sound. Now you look at the modern narco-corridos, the focus has completely shifted to trafficking, luxury lifestyles, violence. But maybe the biggest change of all is the sound.
Yeah, that sound. The urban aesthetics, that's the secret sauce. They're taking these traditional northern Mexican musical styles and blending them with modern hip-hop production, trap beats, new flows, and that makes the music way more accessible. It appeals to a younger, global audience who might have no idea about the history of the genre. They just know it sounds cool.
But here's the thing. As the music gets bigger, the real-world stakes get higher. We're not just talking about Spotify streams and YouTube views here. There are serious, real-life consequences.
And these consequences are no joke. For one, the lyrics themselves are often glorifying incredibly dangerous stuff, like trafficking fentanyl. Then you have the artists themselves, like El Makabelico, facing actual government sanctions for supposed cartel ties. And it even goes up the chain. Music executives have been sent to prison just for doing business with these sanctioned artists.
The music becomes, in effect, a branding and recruitment tool for these criminal organizations.
So this is really the crucial point of all this. When you hear a song like El Fierros, you have to realize you're not just listening to a cool story about some made-up character. You are hearing a reflection of, and maybe even a tool for, a very real, very powerful, and very dangerous criminal underworld.
And all of this leaves us with a really tough, really complex question. Where is the line between artistic expression and criminal propaganda? I mean, when a song is detailing real-world logistics, when it's celebrating actual criminals, and when the artist is allegedly tied to a cartel, it really makes you wonder, where exactly is that line? Or is there even a line at all?